lying lips are abomination to Yahuwah. Say it again. Lying lips are abomination to Yahuwah. All over the world, did you hear the moral? I'm going to say it one more time. Lying. Lying lips. It's in the Bible. If you have not torn it out your Bible, it's in the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 22. For all of you who are watching the Moreh on this holy Shabbat, Proverbs chapter 2 have not Proverbs chapter 12 verse 22 has not changed. It stands as Yah's word. How long, Moreh? Forever. What does it say? Lying. It's in the Bible. Hit the like button. Y'all know them in the book. It says lying lips are abomination. To whom, all right? To Yahuwah. Well, you know, Moreh, we live in a world now where lying is just what you have to do to make it. This whole system is based on lies. The whole country is based on lies. Everybody lies. It's the only way you can make it. You gotta lie. It's the only way. Really. And you got a Bible. Look, I can't be here all day. You have a Bible, open it. And somebody said, how does he know that Bible like that? First of all, don't worry about that. I'm Dr. Yoshiyahu Dawid Ben Israel. I done read the whole Bible. No, I'm not like your preachers. I got to keep telling y'all that. I'm not like your pig, meat eating, no Bible reading preachers and pastors. I'm not like them who lie and say they read this book and haven't read it. They going to hell. They don't know what's in this Bible. They don't know how to interpret it. They don't know how to line it up with what's going on in the world. All they know are little sayings, idioms, false doctrine, lies, catchy phrases. They get on one word, boy, and think they deep. Atmosphere. It's in the atmosphere. Not everybody talking about it's in the atmosphere. And you think you know the Bible because you learned the word atmosphere. You're going to hell for that too. Can't tell you none of the books of the Bible. They don't know the Torah. They don't know the laws. They don't know the statutes. They don't know the commandments. They don't know our prophecies. They don't know the beast. They couldn't tell you the 12 tribes of Israel if you put a piece of cold steel to their temple. They couldn't tell you the name of the disciples. They could not tell you the 10 commandments. They could not tell you our feast days, our dietary laws. They couldn't tell you our wilderness journey experiences. They could not tell you the theme of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. They don't know what Daniel is about. Boy, if you bring them down into one of our books, boy, like Habakkuk or Zephaniah, you will find out your leaders and your teachers are dumb as rocks, and that's an insult to the rock. Hit the like button. I apologize to the rocks of the world. Because the rocks got better sense than to preach the lies and the deception that's being taught today from these so-called pulpits. The rocks got better sense than to stand up acting like they were called by Yah and have never even read the Bible. The rocks got better sense than to stand in the judgment before the Most High Yah, having spilled out of their mouth wicked lies and deception that caused our people to go headlong into the pit. The rocks got better sense than that. I read one verse in the Bible where the king said, if these people shut up, the rocks will cry out. But they will be crying out what? The truth. Hosanna, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahuwah. I'm Dr. Yahrahn Dawid. Somebody in the room right now. Who in the world is this? Don't worry about who I am. You better worry about who you are. You better research it. You better find out before it's too late. You watching me all over the world. We are his people. You better find that out. We are the sheep of his pasture. You better find that out. We've been called by his name. You better find out his name. We've been separated unto a covenant. You better find out what that covenant is. We've been called a separated people unto him. You better find out who the him is. I'm Dr. Yahrahn Dawid, Ben Israel, biblical scholar in Morehyosh at the Awakening Remnant Koalition. Y'all hit the like button. You ain't never heard this kind of preaching and teaching in your life because you can't hear it. They won't allow you to hear it. In them, ecclesiastical and wicked abomination spiritual whorehouses where stupidity and ignorance rules the day. And then when a person like myself, who is actually a real biblical scholar, who actually have read the whole Bible hundreds of times, probably thousands of times, who have actually, Yah showed me and put it together so I could show it to you. Then when a person like me come along, now I'm the one that's wrong and everybody else is right. No, they're going to hell for that one too. They ain't got no script. Let's go back to the Bible. Man, you found that in Proverbs. It's in your book too if you would have read it. What, Moray? Lying, lips are abomination to Yahuwah. Who's Yahuwah, Moreh? He's our Elohim. He's our Elohim. He's our all-powerful, all-knowing, omnipresent, creator and maker of all that is. The self-living one. It's an abomination to the self-living one. Which one is that, Moreh? That's the one that everything and everybody needs. But he himself don't need no thing and nobody. I read it. Why he said, I'm Yahuwah all by myself. Yes, that's my king. And he said, it's in the Bible. If you haven't torn out your Bible, go into Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22, and see whether or not it says, lying lips. Abomination. To who? To Yahuwah. Now, that don't mean lying lips is an abomination to you, because some of y'all love lies. You live in lies, and you tell lies all the time. Some of y'all boast and brag about how through lying you have achieved what you have achieved in this world. For the liar in this beast system is promoted to top ranks, while those of us who are committed to truth are demoted to liars. They call us the liars and the swindlers and the people that you need to stay away from, while the liars are exalted. The people that tell the truth are kicked out and demoted, stepped on and walked over, made fun of, talked behind their back. How you know, Moreh? I'm one of them. I told the truth to the world. And I was talked about. I was lied on. They called me a fanatic. They said, don't listen to Moreh. He's trying to get people killed. I said, do not let this heathen shoot that poison into your body. Anybody following the Moreh? No good and well I did that. And I can't tell you how many videos I begged the house of Yah not to do that. The house of Israel not to do that. Hit the like button. Testify. Yes, I remember. Put it in the chat. I stayed on the Bible side. Let me look in the chat. Look one said, yeah, hit the like, hit the like. Y'all come in the room, hit the like button. Everybody. That's the rule at this Awakening Remnant Coalition. When you come in, be obedient. And don't think I'm asking for likes just because I'm getting clicks and nickels. No. We don't get paid from YouTube. I done told you that 1,000 times. How do you live preaching like that? Tithes, offerings, gifts. What? Yes, trust in you. And that's something, trust in Yah, first of all. And number two, saying, okay, I'm going to do the research. I'm going to do the meditation. I'm going to do the prayers. I'm going to put together the Bible lessons. I'll put together the sermons. And in return for doing all of the work, I'm going to preach it to the people. I'm going to get behind the cameras. I'm going to get behind the lights. And in return, ask the people to do what the Bible said. I'm not going to make up anything. I'm going to ask the people to do what the Bible says. Support through tithes and offerings. And every time I talk about tithes and offerings, I'm going to stay with the Bible. I'm never going to get off the Bible. And when I teach the Bible about words, and I teach you about lessons about giving and illustrations all through the Bible of people who gave, I'm going to stay true to what the Bible says. I don't have to exaggerate anything, nor do I have to diminish anything, because the Bible is good just like it's written. It's perfect like it's written. It's great just like it's written. Bring the tithes into the storehouse. The storehouse represents the people. He says, and then you're going to see something. You're going to prove me. That's what Yah said. I'll open the windows and pour you out a blessing. Why? Because if you bless me, you bless my house, you bless the work of the kingdom, then in return, I'm finna bless you. Matter of fact, I'm going to pour out so much blessing, you're going to have to try to find more room to receive it. And again, I have to always say this because people always, in their brain, once again, that slave mind, you can only see one thing that's a blessing. Everything else in the world is a curse. But I got news for you. In the Hebrew culture, we have at least 10 different words that describe Yah's blessings for his people. Just not one way. Now, I ain't saying he won't bless you financially. That's not what I'm saying, because he sure enough will. Woo! He will. But we all know that money all by itself is not only not all of biblical blessing, we know that it can become a curse. The scripts, not the moray, the scripts say the love of it. That means when you turn your heart and your mind and your strength toward that versus loving Yah with all your heart, mind, and strength and turning yourself toward him, you're going to find that the previous one, turning your love toward the love of money, you're going to find out that is the root of what, Murray? All kinds of evil. Woo! But when you turn your affection and your love toward Yah, you're going to find out that that's the root of all kinds of blessings. Y'all hit the like button. We're in the room on this holy Shabbat, giving the house of Israel admonition. Support through the tithes and the offerings. Share the videos. Wake up the world. Let the world know what? Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22 say, lying. I read it. Lying lips are abomination to Yahuwah. Why you say that, Moray? Because years ago, I told our people, don't let people just randomly shoot something into your body that you don't know nothing about. Do the research. We found that it was wicked. And I came online and I told y'all, hey, that thing is wicked. We told you it had stuff in it that was against the Torah. And we got online and we told people that. We found it. We did the research. And I got up and told the world, I said, hey, y'all, listen. If you need exemptions, if you need this and that, you could literally write the Awakening Remnant Koalition. We had legal people help us draft a letter that we could give out to the people so that they could take it to their employee, they could take it to their school, they could take it wherever they want and say, listen, based on this, I can't do it. And some people took advantage of it, and right to this day, they got that paper. And they giving y'all praise. Why? Because the Moreh was telling the truth, just like I told you at that time. And watch, listen, I want you to hear the Moreh. The campers was telling people to take it. We didn't even talk about that pig meat eating preacher because he had already sold out. He was literally going online calling me wicked. That pig meat eater was saying that I was wicked for telling the people not to do what's best for the family and what's best for the house and what's best for your job and what's best for this and what's best for that. Yeah, people out there preaching against this. You better protect yourself. This is how they're saying about me. You better protect yourself and don't worry about what nobody say. I don't care who it is, even if it is Dr. Yushi. I heard him talking. And by the way, let's fix that. It's Yo, She, Yahoo. Get it straight, you heathens, and you slumber brews. You will hear that name echoing. No, yeah, why? Oh, because I told you. You ain't gonna be able to leave this planet and say, I ain't told you. You ain't gonna be able to get into the judgment and say, I never knew. Who was gonna tell me? You heard me. And I'm not taking credit. I got it from the Bible. Y'all hit the like button. I got it from the Bible. It's people that follow me so long. When I say follow me, I don't mean like worshiping me. That's not my word point. There's people been following along with this ministry so long. Some of the people that's in the chat right now, I can't see everybody because it's moving too fast. But there were some people in the chat been with me so long that they can remember these sermons. They can remember me talking about this. They can remember. They know I'm not lying. Yeah, I didn't start making videos on YouTube yesterday. Whenever it started, it's about 14, 15 years I've been in this. Let me see if anybody. Z, I just saw the blue red. She said, yes, sir. What's that mean? She was there. And I remember how Queen said, remember. She remembered too. She was there. Who else said that? Boy, somebody said, yes. And then Melody said, I remember. Jazz, Jazz wouldn't lie. She said, yeah, I remember. We had to fight so hard that we used to have meetings about let me tell you how wicked this heathen was. We had to have meetings on how I would approach the subject. I'm trying to tell you. Because certain words that were being used We couldn't even speak those words without a threat of having our entire channel shut down. We had to talk about it. So how we gotta wake up our people. So what we gonna say? Well, we can't say this because then they're gonna do this. We can't say this. So we had to come up with words. We had to just make up words. Like donut. We had to tell people, you know what we talking about when we say donut? And then they'll be like, yeah, I get it. Why? We had to do because they were so wicked when it came to attacking us for trying to teach the truth. Look at them laughing in the chat. Y'all, you know why they laughing? Because they remember. Y'all remember. And look, I got attacked. But I stood my ground. Against whom, Moray? First of all, them pastors. The pastors all over the world. And I was telling them, tell your people. What? See, there's two sides of the Moray that y'all only know the Moray side. You don't remember me, and I'm so happy you don't. But there was a time that I was in the so-called Christian church as a pastor. And during those years, I was one of the quote unquote, most prominent preachers in the nation. I was one of the most prominent pastors in the United States of America in the denomination that I worked with. They knew me all over the country. I preached all over the world. Y'all don't know that side of me, and I'm so happy you don't. But that was a season in my life. So after I woke up to the truth, I knew I constantly tried to talk to my pastor friends that I met when I was in Christianity. I kept trying to stay in touch with them so to help them come to the truth and see certain things. I did. Over and over again. I call them, hey man, this. They laugh and joke or crack at me and all that. And I'm like, I know y'all can only see one side of me, but you don't know. I really was called out of the religion after 21 years of pastoring. I didn't do this because there was a money grab. I didn't do this because it was some kind of a weird thing. I just wanted to lose a church, lose my member, lose the family, lose friends, lose. That's not why I woke up to the truth. The Most High woke me up, and he showed me that. He showed me who we were and whose we are. And he told me to show you. And so I continually would talk to them. So this is one point. They were teaming up against me all over America, shooting at the Moray, what the people say, side eye. You know, throwing rocks and hiding their hand. But people in the know knew that they were talking about me. They would talk about me without actually using my name. Man, you just preach on, because I preach on the Shabbat. So then they would get up on Sunday, the next day, the day that's never been in the Bible as our day of convocation, it's never been in the Bible as our day of worship. That's a Constantinian thing. But I would preach, they would get up the next day and talk about me and talk about what I preached and how I was wrong. Pastors. Because they were actually, listen to this wickedness. Some of them were providing those shots and things in their church. They were posting pictures. Yeah, I got mine. Pastors. If you haven't got there, you can't even show up. Don't come in here without this. And I was like, what the hell is going on? But I kept preaching. Hit the like button. I've been telling y'all I'm different. Hit the like button. I told you, I'm staying with Torah no matter what. That's just it for me. So after I finished dealing with these pig meat eaters who, first of all, can't even put down a piece of bacon, so I already know they can't resist the beast. They can't resist anything that's coming. If you can't resist something that's nasty and dirty and stinky as a pig, then your resistance to sin is on zero, right? I'm not even going to deal with that. That's the lowest. That's why I always use it as an illustration that if a person can't leave a pig alone, he can't leave nothing alone. He can't leave sin alone. A pig is easy to leave alone. It ain't nothing. It's a nasty rodent. It's sick. It's disgusting. It's diseased. You should be able to leave that alone easy as soon as you hear about it. You should be, oh, sure, I'm not eating that thing. That thing is gross, right? But then the second level was when I heard Israelites, quote unquote, campers. And y'all know dang well what I'm talking about on this holy Shabbat. Campers all over America telling their people to take the so-called Fauci ouchie. If anybody remember me putting them camps on blast and rebuking them for telling their people about the Fauci ouchie, right in the text, hit the like button. And I stood on it. And then here come the campers against me. I said, what is happening in the world? Why is everybody against the Moreh and the seer that's actually telling the truth? I couldn't understand it. Let me see here. They were telling people, some of y'all know, y'all know. Yes, I had to fight with the campers. And again, a lot of them wouldn't say my name. And I'm cool with that. You can actually keep my name out your mouth. I'm happy with that. I don't need you to speak my name because you're wicked and you operate under Satan. And what you know, these campers, what they know is, they know if they speak my name in their camps, some of them people are going to turn on the Awakening Remnant Coalition and hear me for themselves. And they're going to lead them damn camps. And they know it. They know that they cannot stand against the real truth of the Torah, the pure Torah, the naked Torah, the solid Torah, the foundation of Torah. They know they have no argument, no chance. They cannot push that camp doctrine and the Bible. They know it. So they tell people, stay away from him, or they won't mention my name. And I'm good with that too. You don't have to mention my name. My name don't mean nothing. The only name that means anything to us is the name that's above all names. Yahushua HaMashiach, that's the name given under heaven, whereby you and I must be saved. There's salvation in his name alone. Yes, the one that y'all claiming is a bastard. Yes, the one y'all claiming is an imposter. That we don't have a king. That there ain't no Messiah. That's why they don't mention my name. You better not. I never shall forget. We had some witches I can't remember how many years ago it's been, but we had about 4 witches. I'm talking about female witches. Witches, literally around a table with candles, making videos about the Moreh. That they messed around and clipped too much of my sermon. Boy, they should have just kept talking. But they messed around and clipped my sermon. They clipped the Bible study. They said they was talking and then they put a clip of the study. They put too much of the clip. Next thing you know, boy, we went from like 3,000 subscribers. Y'all think I'm lying. Some of y'all know I'm telling the truth. We went from like 3,000 subscribers to like 10,000 subscribers. It's like boom, 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 boom. Shot our views up and shot the subscribers up. 5,000-6,000 people within a couple of months. We ended up with 10,000 subscribers when them witches was putting them videos up. Why? Because they said, man, let me go listen to this. Who is this? Yahoo. Boy, they would listen. They would like the hell with them witches. I don't know who this nappy hair, brown skin, country, bumpkin looking so-and-so. I don't know who he is or where he came from or nothing like that. But I'm so glad them witches put his picture up and his video and his contact information. Because, boy, they joined. And then the witches stopped. I said, y'all some lazy ass witches. I'm still making videos and y'all done quit. Man, we could have been well over 100,000 videos by now. If you witches would have kept at your job, you lazy something. Man, the witches working for Satan, worshiping the devil. Found out a whole lot of people was worshiping the devil, following the witches. But then they found out the truth about the word of Yah. They said, oh, the hell with them witches. We do with them witches. I said, what you doing now? We follow the work of the ARK and the Remnant Koalition. Yes. Hit the like button on this holy Shabbat. Let's read that verse one more time. Lying lips are abomination. The campers told their people to follow the government. I told our people to follow Torah. The campers told the people to follow Ouchie. I told our people to follow Hamashiach. They told the people, ain't nothing wrong with it. We told the people that we found the ingredients to some of that, and we traced it and found out what was wrong with it. And then they told the people that it ain't gonna hurt them. And we told the people, you don't know what it's gonna do. It's too early. They haven't spent enough time running tests on it. I never shall forget one of my brothers, I'm not going to mention his name. Unfortunately, he didn't listen to the Moreh. And he took it, right? He said, bruh. I said, yeah, man, what's going on? I'm not right. I said, what? He said, I'm not right. There's something going on inside of me. I said, what like? He said, I can't explain it. He was an athlete his whole life. Could have went pro in football. Just super athlete, right? College, graduate and all that. He said, if there's nothing else that I know, because of my life in athletics and all that. He said, what I know is my body. He said, it's something that's not right inside of me. He said, and the only way I can explain it, it feels like there's like a little engine inside of me that won't turn off. So I can't explain it. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like there's something that won't turn off. I prayed for my brother. At the time, he didn't really know. He was working in the district, so he didn't really know. He just thought it was just that, he didn't really look into it. And you know what he said? Make sure you tell the people. Don't take it. I said, what? He said, listen, man. They're trying to, because he worked in the district, he said, they're trying to make me tell the students to do it. Make me push it on them. Watch this. He said, against their parents. I said, no. He said, man, I'm not lying. They had a meeting, told us all, come sit down. And they said, these are the words that we're going to use to make everybody in your classroom, everybody in your school, the leadership, we're going to make them do it. These are the words. And you know what he told me? He said, I sat through the meeting and I had already made up my mind. I'm finna tell these kids the truth. I told them, don't do it. Don't do it. And he said, and what I'm telling you, bro, because this is my nigga right here. I'm talking about we like this. Like, that's my, he said, what I'm telling you, you gotta tell the people don't do it. And I said, bro, I'm already telling them. But Toda Rabbah for you telling me that. Because it gives me more strength and more power and more foundation, because I already know you wouldn't have called me and we wouldn't be talking right now if it wasn't real. So I told the people. Not to do it. Lying lips are an abomination to Yahuwah. And people always say, Maury, you always act like you right. No, when I'm right, I'm right. I'm not going to lie and say I was wrong when I was right. But I'm also one of these fellas, I ain't got no problem. Y'all should know me by now. I don't have a problem saying I told you so. I'm going to be hollering that the day I die. What? I told you. That's the one thing that I got to take into the kingdom. I have to take into the kingdom my testimony that I told you what he told me to tell you. I have to. If I can't take nothing else, I can't take nothing else. I can't take a house into the kingdom. I can't take a car into the kingdom. I can't take my motorcycle into the kingdom. No, I can't take my little old boat into the kingdom. I can't take my refrigerator, my microwave. None of that can go in the kingdom. I can't take no watch and no pen, nothing. So what are you taking to the kingdom? I can only take my testimony. That's it. That's it. I have a testimony. My works is what's going to follow. That's it. I done read the Bible. You got a testimony and you got your works. That's it. You leaving everything else here. I promise you that. So yes, my testimony in the kingdom is, did you tell them? Yes, I did. And I said this and I will continue to say it. Look, your dad put clapping hands in the room. Why? She was around at that time. She's still following the ARK at that time. She know I'm telling the truth. Man, we used to have meetings. I'm trying to tell you. We used to talk about this type of thing on a regular basis. And let me tell you something. People who hang out with me all the time, they know I quote one of the Messiah's lines he say all the time, that wisdom is justified of her children. right? So that's a line I use all the time. I just say it all the time. That wisdom is justifying of her children, and that simply means this. It means time will tell. That's what it means. It means that the person that's right and the person that's wise, that will come out in time when the baby is born. The truth will be revealed. And I don't want to lower this into the ghetto, but when you back in the day, when you was unmarried, I don't care what that girl told you, how that's your baby. The truth is gonna come out when? At birth. She can say whatever she wants while she's pregnant. But the truth will be manifest once we run that DNA. When you run the DNA, you're going to have to wait 9 months. Yeah, she's going to lie the whole time. Talking about you been the only one. You're her only lover. She will never have another. And then you get on stage and they read the paper. In the case of Yahrahn Johnson, Jr., the third, you are not the father. Boy, they go crazy. Woo! And she start crying. Nigga, why you crying? When you knew in the beginning you was lying. Why are you crying now? You knew that wisdom would be justified by the child. In other words, whoever was the wise one and the right one, it would be evident once the baby's born. And it works the other way around, too. A brother would deny a child. That ain't my baby. But then that little joker come out, boy. Look at here. That little joker come out looking just like him. Swaying like him. Talking slang like him. Sometimes that little joker come out smoking a cigar just like him. I gotta go. Boy, walk with a drag. You like, yeah, God dang it. That little nigga is mine, ain't he? She said, I told you, I ain't have a you. He be like it. All I'm saying is, boy, that is one of the coolest little babies you ever seen in your life. That baby seemed like it been here before. Boy, you look at that child, see your whole life like, okay. What's up, little man? What's up, Pops? Let me get back to my lesson on this Holy Shabbat. Boy, wisdom is justified by her children. Just give it time. And time will tell. Hit the like button. Support the work of the ARK, the Awakening Remnant Koalition. How? Tithes and offerings, y'all know. Share these messages to the world. Yes, wisdom is justified by her children. So who was wise and who was not? The Moreh, Yoshiyahu Dawi ben Israel. I was wise. I was telling the truth. I was righteous. I was correct. But of course, 5 years ago, I was wrong. 5 years ago, I was crazy. 5 years ago, I didn't love my people. 5 years ago, I was a threat to family. I was a threat to people's livelihoods. I was a threat 5 years ago. But now, 5, 6 years later, oh, he was right. I was right then. A public hearing recently was held in the Congress of the United States, there in the belly of the beast, where a so-called public official was being questioned by his fellow members of Congress who opposed him, who said he was full of it back in the day, and many whose lives were ruined. And instead of answering the questions, what we saw was this. Here's the building, here's the beast, and here's the representative. Behind this is what I'm trying to teach the world. Behind this is this. Behind this is this that's being ran by this. Let me talk about this, and then I gotta get out the room. You know, on the first Shabbat, you know, I do double duty. I preach twice. I get a chance I preach with y'all on Shabbat, and then early in the morning, and then in late morning, early afternoon, I preach to the ARK, our staff and friends. We get together. Yes. Why? Because the Bible says that we should continue to assemble ourselves together, especially in these last days. Yes. So we're going to be assembling in a little while. I'm about to get out the room. We're going to assemble. Yes, we're going to talk about stuff. And then I'm going to get a chance. They're going to let me, can you believe this? They're going to actually let me preach a sermon to them. And I'm going to do the best I can. Yes. It's a handful of us. But we worship like it's 1,000 in the room. Yes. So I got double duty, so I can't stay in the room all day. Y'all support the work of the ARK. I'm putting in double duty today. Some of y'all should give a double. Should give them more. Like, let me help them all the way out. Yeah. Let me talk about this, and this, right? That this thing produces him. But behind this is this. It's that last beast. Of the four beasts in Daniel chapter 2, the only beast that Daniel really asked a question about, because all of them, you know, he interprets. But the last one is the only one, when you read the actual Bible, the last beast is the only beast that he's really concerned about. He said, tell me about that fourth beast. I need to know more. And I need to know more about that little horn. When you go back and read it, when you go back and read the Daniel's account in chapter 2, go back and read it and see if he doesn't focus his attention on this fourth beast. Hit the like button. Matter of fact, if you know what I'm telling is true because you've been following the Morehyosh or studying Daniel by yourself, if you know I'm telling the truth, hit the like button. And everybody hit like in the chat. So the only beast that Daniel really does not completely understand when the prophecy is given is this one. And so he asked, I got to know more about this one. And then the Most High told him, he said, man, that's the most wicked of them all. You don't even understand how wicked he is, out of control, evil, monstrous, stomping out people, pushing everywhere. You don't know this dude. You don't want to hear about this thing right here, man. Only the Most High Yah can destroy this one. This one won't be destroyed by another nation. This last beast, the only person that can destroy it is Yahushua himself. It's almost as though this is actually reserved just for Yahushua to kill, to collapse this. Then this is using this to then put this in your face. And I've been telling y'all, this right here is a lie. Why? Because I could see behind him. And I could see that behind this was this. So I came to the people, the children of Israel, because I am a seer, right? And because I could see it, I said, I don't follow this. This thing is being used by this, but this is being used by this. Hit the like button. I'm helping the whole world. And they laughed me to scorn. They talked about me. They drugged my name all over the world. They did all manner of wickedness. It don't matter. Because wisdom ain't justified by you. Wisdom ain't justified by what you say about me right now. Wisdom is justified by the results. The world was following this. That was following this. That was following this. Listen, in human lives, we talk about a beast, right? Approximately 7.1 million deaths. I know that number just blow your brain, don't it? That'll knock your socks off if you're a human. What? Yeah, that's more than the wars. That's more than all these conflicts. 7.1 million died during the time. Now listen to this number. Because of this beast system, listen to me. They say that what they call excess mortality. What does that mean? That means people who didn't get the initial virus, right? But didn't get it during that time, but the effects of the ouchie caused 30 million deaths. Now, what is that if it's not this? Listen. It's been proven that it was created. By what? This. Hasatan, he's here to steal, kill, and destroy. 30, the numbers is too high. Million deaths behind something that this thing created. And then let it loose on the world and pushed it through here and used this thing right here as its catalyst to make it into the arms and into the bodies of humans who thought they were being saved by it, but in actuality, many of them were being destroyed by it. And the evidence is coming out now, is my point. What do you mean, Moray? If you all have not been watching, Congress has this thing right now on the hot seat. But I don't follow politics close, so I might be mistaken on some of this stuff, on some of the details, because my interest is the Torah. I know the Bible, I know Torah. I'm learning Hebrew. I don't know Hebrew like I want to, but I'm learning Hebrew a little bit at a time, right? But I don't follow politics hardly at all, so this is not my expertise. So if I'm wrong on one point or another, I'm off on numbers, y'all can't hold that to my head, because I'm confessing to you that I don't follow these heathens like that. But the one thing I did see is a person that was used as a catalyst to get that thing that inside of the people on earth and caused over 7.1 million confirmed deaths and about 30 million more related deaths associated with it, stood up or sat before so-called his peers, and over 100 times said, I ain't saying nothing. 100 questions plus. He said, I'm not talking. He said, don't you have any compassion for the 1.7 million people that died? I'm not talking. What? I plead the fifth. So what about the 30 million estimated lives that died as a result of listening to you? I plead the fifth. So what about the over 1.2 million deaths just here in the United States based on people listening to you? He said, I plead the fifth. So you know that millions of people lost their parents. Many husbands lost their wives. Many wives lost their husbands. Some families, mom and dad, they lost children because of what you said and what you did. They lost grandparents, uncles and cousins. And you know what this thing said? You know what this beast said? He said, I'm not talking. There were millions of people hospitalized and millions of people are living with the effects of that ouchie. And remember I told you remember early in the sermon, I mentioned what my brother told me on the phone when he called me. Remember, he said, man, I feel like it's an engine inside of me. He said, I can't explain it. He said, I just cannot. He said, but just listen to, he said, how something don't turn off? And this is when it first happened. I'm talking about, this was the very first, within the first month or two that it came out. He told me this, right? It just came out on this Congress meeting. It said that one of the long-term effects is that millions of people have persistent fatigue. They stay tired because it seems like whatever's on the inside, that engine, it doesn't want to ever turn off. That's what my brother told me This is when this first happened. He said, man, I know my body. This thing, something is in me, man, won't turn off. Then they said, this is the reason for persistent fatigue. Now I'm reading something I downloaded. Watch. Persistent fatigue, breathing problems, brain fog, and other symptoms. And the more they were trying to tell the people don't do it. They asked that fool about that. He said, I ain't got nothing to say. They said, what about the delayed diagnosis that connected this to cancer, heart disease, and other illness? Don't you care about that? He said, I plead the fifth. This is a beast. Only an animal would do that. A beast. They said, what about the increase of substance abuse? People trying to deal with the changes in their body. People trying to deal with that thing. Created substance abuse. You can understand. They're drinking more alcohol or taking some kind of drug for what? Trying to slow down, trying to calm down. They smoking more weed. Why? They trying to calm down. They trying to stop that engine. They trying to. What about those people who are now chemically dependent? I ain't got nothing to say. I plead the fifth. It's a beast. What about the problems in mental health that you caused? Anxiety. And I plead the fifth. What? So what about depression? You know, because a lot of people, as a result of what happened, they went into deep depression, you know. Losing their mom, family, cousins, locked down, couldn't go outside. Many people fell into like a deep depression. Do you even care about what happened to those people? This beast said, I don't give a damn. I plead the fifth. I ain't saying nothing. So you're not going to say nothing. What about the ones that committed suicide? Because of this. It was an increase, you know. All of this is out. This is public. What I'm saying now, this is public information. What I'm saying is fair use. Whoever, all these bots in the room and all these trolls, what I'm reading is not mine. I pulled these stats down off the internet. Yes, I just went on the internet, I Googled it and pulled it down. That's how. I wanted to know what was the what were the effects of what this beast, remember, this is the beast that's behind this, that pushed him into your face 24 hours a day almost, for years. Now all of a sudden, can't say nothing. No, not can't, won't. What about loneliness? What about the stress of the healthcare system? I plead the fifth. What about the burnout that happened among all the medical professionals? I plead the fifth. What about families that you tore up? I plead the fifth. What about nursing home residents? Those in special care that you said nobody could visit them. So now they have to sit in those rooms all by themselves without their brother, their sister, their husband, or their wife, or their cousins coming to see them. What about that? That B said, I don't care. My lawyer said, plead the fifth. What the hell? So grandparents were separated from their grandchildren, couldn't see them. And then they died. Do you care about that? He said, nope, plead the fifth. Do y'all remember the funerals? where they made it to where nobody could go to a funeral. You had to drive around. Did y'all remember that? Where you couldn't even go and pay your last respects, your final respects to the dearly departed. Do you remember? This fool, I don't care. I plead the fifth. That's the beast. This is what I was trying to tell the world. When the campers was all telling people to take it. So therefore, what happened? Children. Y'all remember, they locked down the schools. Kids stopped learning. The parents couldn't teach. They found out then that the parents, some of them was unfortunately dumb as rocks. And that's another rock, I'm sorry. We found out that the parents don't know third grade, fourth grade education. We found out that they couldn't help the children with the homework. And now we done figured out now why our people are in such a bad situation. When the parents were saying, I don't know math, but you're supposed to graduate from high school. Remember that? So now we put out a whole generation of people who are now illiterate and uneducated. The results, I'm telling you, the Bible says wisdom is justified by her children. Because of these liars, do you know that we have a generation of about almost 3 years? I want you to listen to the moral rate of children with no natural human communication skills. Did you hear what I said? I said no natural human communication skills. Because for almost 3 years, they couldn't see facial expressions. They couldn't see the nose, the mouth, the teeth, the jaw. They couldn't see it. So therefore, because they couldn't see it, the natural human communication thing was gone. So then they became closer to their computers in communication than they did with their parents or with people. So it's easier for them now to text than talk. Because talking involves more than words. Talking involves, as you can see when I'm talking, I'm animated. Talking involves facial expression, hand gestures, eyes, nose, ears. The whole face is involved in communication. But because they don't understand that, they would rather just text you. Because for years, they didn't see a face. And right now, they're doing something. They're trying to re-educate people on how to actually have a conversation with humans. And as much as I fought against it, it is no doubt that that is the truth all over the world in that generation of children that were impressionable at that time when they were supposed to be learning everything about the human face and human communication was cut off for years. Hit the like button. Your preacher can't preach this and teach this. He'll get fired. He'll get fired. Your leaders can't do this. They're wicked. They was for this. They were for it. They talked about me for being against it. Your camp leader, everybody watching the moral race should immediately leave all those camps. If you watched one day of that congressional hearing, that should be enough. Well, really, what I said should have been enough because I brought in script, which I'm finna do that. I'm about to get out the room. What I said should have been enough. But no, you can't hear me because of my brown skin. You can't hear me because of my nappy hair. You can't hear me because of my white beard. I get it. But that's stupid. That's what do they call that thing? That's Stockholm syndrome. That you can't listen to your own seer. You can't listen to your own Maury. You can't listen to somebody that Yah sends to you to talk to you about you for your better. Who have not charged you a nickel, a dime, or a quarter, but freely given to you what I by Yah, and I become the enemy of the house of Israel, but you follow the camps. But now, watch this. Now, Congress, the beast Congress itself, think about this, is drilling the person who was the face of this. And instead of him answering so that the camps can say, see, we were right. And the pastors could go, yep, see, we did the right thing, y'all. It was beautiful. We're so happy because when we told y'all to do that, look at now we're all healthy. Now we're happy. Now our nation's stronger. Now we're more beautiful. Now we're more united, right? Because that should have been the result. But no, the Morehyosh said, don't do that. Y'all tripping. But now I take the white man, the pink people. Should stop saying white. Now the pink people are in Congress because now time, see, it's been enough time has gone by to where people have studied every little piece of information about what was in that goddamn needle. They found out, they done pulled it all out and said, whoa, what was they doing? And then all the results of everything else have come in. So then they bring in the person who was responsible for the closures of the schools, for the learning loss, for developmental delays, for speech delays, for reduced activity in our children, for childhood anxiety. Do you understand that? They bring him in and ask him, and he said, I plead the fifth. No, you heathen. You can't do that. But he does. He's doing it. And then I want to talk about this part. The hundreds of million people who got in trouble because they decided they didn't want to do it. So they lost jobs. They experienced disruption of their normal income. They were ostracized. They were tagged as rebellious and enemies of the state and haters of people. I talked about my brother Kyrie. What do you mean your brother? It's my brother from another mother. If y'all remember, I didn't put his name in the because I don't name drop. I'm not doing that. I don't believe in that. But I'm using his name right now though. Why? Because I was for what he did. Not because of who he is, but because he was right. You're gonna see the Morehyosh standing on the side of right. He lost millions. Some of us lost hundreds. Some of us lost thousands. But that particular Israelite lost millions, multiple millions, multi-millions. No, he ain't no preacher. He ain't no teacher. He's not a pastor. He's not a camp leader. He's just a slumber brew, trying to find his true identity. But at least he knew enough to say, nope. My body is different than everybody else's. I don't care what y'all do to your body. I am what is a true elite athlete. And I understand something about my body. My body is a well-tuned machine. It can do anything I tell it to do. And it can do it perfect. And I'm not going to ever take a chance on something going in here that's going to bother that at all. So I tell you what, you could do whatever you need to do. I ain't doing it. And boy, our people drug him through the freaking mud and made him lose millions and millions of dollars in pay and endorsements and all that other kind of stuff. But the more I don't have to show up 6 years later and apologize for what I said. No, ma'am, no, sir. Because wisdom is justified by her children. We find out later that he was right. And the world was wrong. ESPN was wrong. All the other wicked people, they was wrong. This, my brothers and my sisters on this holy Shabbat, is the beast. That was a move of the beast. It pushed the world into a global recession. It created out of control government spending, which is crazy, by the way. That's a whole nother topic. But the national debt, because people had to find a way to try to survive, increased. Inflation ruined economies all over the world. And when asked about it, this demonic, I don't know what this thing is, but I know it came from him. I know it comes from the beast. This thing said, I don't have to say nothing. For real? So remember the lockdowns? When we couldn't go outside? Remember the curfew in some places? I plead the fifth. Remember the travel restriction? I plead the fifth. Remember quarantine? I plead the fifth. Do you remember when you had to stand 6 feet apart from each other? And it didn't mean absolutely nothing. Remember that? You did that all over the world. I plead the fifth. Remember when every single store and every single place of commerce had to import plexiglass and put it up every single place so that between you and another human, there had to be a shield? You remember that? And it made everybody be in prison? That animal said, I plead the fifth. That thing said, I don't have to talk. He's a beast. It's a system. So you don't remember how you don't remember how you shut down. Now, this is probably the only good part, but you remember how you shut down all the places of worship? Remember that? How you know that, more? I'm one of the people that was affected by that. We were meeting in a place downtown called the Beehive. It's a fantastic building. As a matter of fact, it was the best building we ever had. Boy, and the ARK was taking off. People was coming to visit from all over the world. For sure, all over America. People was coming to hang out with the ARK. They would be coming to California. Think about how big the state is. And they would talk to each other and say, if we get to California, We got to go by and worship with the ark. And those of you who was with me at that time, during that time, y'all could testify that almost every Shabbat, not every single one, but almost every Shabbat, there was somebody from another state or another country or another, whatever, almost every single week. I'm from Chicago. And I said, if I ever get to Cali, I'm going to hang out with the ark, and I'm here. And you know what we would do? Put our arms around them. Afterwards, invite them over for relaxation, chilling out, get to know one another. Next thing you know, I'm going to get out the room, y'all. I get it. But next thing you know, Uncle Neville called me and said, hey, man. And he called me Moray. But he's my real uncle, right? But he said, Moray. I said, what's going on, Unc? He said, man, we can't go back. I said, what? Yeah, they shut it down. They shut it down. Right before Passover, I'll never forget it. Right before Passover, they shut it down. And that's when I started going to the park. Why? Because I'm committed to the house of Israel. It don't matter where we are. I started making videos in the park. And I promised the Awakening Room that I said, look, listen to me, y'all. Because we were actually meeting in parks at the time. It's crazy. We went through that system. But I remember I was doing videos in the park. Just taking my camera and setting up in the park and just saying, shalom. And I would talk to the house of Israel. Why? Because we ain't no easy giving up type. No. The building does not define our ministry. But it was a nice place. But it didn't define us. No, the truth defines the Awakening Remnant Coalition. The Torah defines the Awakening Remnant Coalition. We want to be defined by the covenant. So if we have to do it like that, we just do it. When they ask Fauci about kicking people out, you know what he said? I plead the fifth. He didn't have to say nothing. Now I'm going to go faster because I'm way over time. I told you I got double duty today. I got to preach again today. Support the work of the ark through tithes and offerings. But all over the world, international travel and national travel flights were canceled, cruises were canceled, tourism collapsed, businesses collapsed, family vacations were canceled, sports and entertainment was another thing that was affected. Remember the Olympics got postponed? That fool said, I plead the fifth. Remember professional sports team got interrupted? Remember they had to play basketball in the bubble? Y'all remember all that you did? I plead the fifth. Okay, so museums were closed. Theme parks were closed. In the area of food and agriculture, restaurants collapsed. Food supply was disrupted. Farmers had to destroy unsold products. Remember that? Remember the meat that was sitting up in these warehouses too long? Ended up having all manner of diseases and gave people a secondary sickness from the food. Y'all remember that? Do you remember when we went to the store and there wasn't no toilet paper? That fool said, I plead the fifth. What about when, dude, the toilet paper didn't bother you? I plead the fifth. Damn, ouchie. Well, you don't care about nothing. No, because he worked for the beast. I don't know how to tell y'all. It's a beast. So through this, we see the collapse. We see how this particular time affected a nation that was already falling. Because, to be honest, everything that I mentioned, this particular horn of the beast, which is the little horn, has not yet recovered from what happened behind this beast. It has not. It has not recovered. People are still realizing that things are happening to this day that they don't know what's wrong. And guess what they're tracing it back to? All these untimely sicknesses and untimely death and a bunch of stuff people just can't explain. All the people passing out, falling out, don't know what's going on in their life, like normal, healthy people. Next thing you know, they're having a bunch of issues. They're all tracing it back to that so-called Fauci, ouchie. And this thing stands up in front of the world and say, I'm not talking. Now, the reason why I did this, today, because again, I don't care about politics. Don't put me on no side. Do I need to say it clear? I don't give a damn about Republicans, reptilian, or Democrats, Democrats. I do not give a damn. So don't put me on either side of that wicked, dirty bird. Because I know that behind the whole system, I know that behind the whole government is this thing. It don't matter what wing is flapping. I don't care if the right wing is flapping or the left wing is flapping. This is the thing that's really running it. But I'm gonna get out the room. Hit the like button. I gotta get out the room. Why? Because I want to talk to you. It's not about what people say. It's about what Yah says. Go back to that Proverbs 12:22. Lying lips are an abomination to Yah. Why? Because of the things I just read. The death toll, the pain, the suffering, the homelessness, the loss of job, the loss of careers, the loss of loved ones, the loss of communication, the whole nation now, like hella weird. Everything is just strange and weird and out of control, and we can't believe it. And we live in a constant state of anxiety, right? But same verse. Hit the like button. But it's in the same verse. It's Proverbs. But they that deal what? Truly. They that deal truly. That's our word for righteousness. Or you can say that's our word for honesty and integrity. Integrity has something to do with something that is solid. That's where the word comes from. So whether something has integrity or not is based on whether it's solid or not, right? The reason why the preaching and the teaching of the awakening remnant has integrity is because it's built on Torah. It's built on truth. It's built on the whole Bible from Genesis to the Revelation. Now, that doesn't mean that as a Moreh, I can't make a mistake. No, I'm a vessel. I'm a human. I'm talking. But at the same time, I'm learning. And whenever I learn, I show you. And the reason why we stand on integrity is not because you standing on the Moreh. No, you in integrity when you stand on Torah. When you stand on the Bible. And the Bible says that Yah is delighted. That means he loves it. That is encouraging to Yahuwah himself. When he finds delight in people who stand on his word, no matter what. The beast is collapsing. It is. And this thing right here, working for the beast, is a part of the beast's collapse. I told you this thing, man, is so out of control that it will consume itself. The beast system is so wicked that it thinks it can be Yah. I'm telling you, this beast has exalted itself above Yahuwah, our Elohim. But the lies that it was built on and the lies that are continually going forward are abomination to Yah. It's not pleasing. Truth is what blesses Yah. Truth is what allows our Elohim to be delighted. Truth, not lies. That's why the beast must fall, because everything about this ravenous, sick, and wicked beast is all based on a lie. This last little horn, man, the only reason that it is where it is right now is because holding us captive for 400 years without paying us. I told you all it came out to trillions of dollars. Actually, it came out to quadrillions, adding the interest. Imagine being able to start a nation with a quadrillion dollars in the plus of free labor. They didn't build this country by pulling up their bootstraps. No, ma'am, no, sir. They built this thing on our back. We built it. All they did was hold guns to our heads and didn't have a problem pulling triggers. If it was not for, matter of fact, I need to talk about another person that's online. You going to hell, you better stop talking about us. It's this heathen who is trying to make his way into our community. He is a European Muslim, pulling our people into Islam, working for Satan. That fool said that guns and gunpowder and ammunition didn't have anything to do with slavery. I said, this wigger going to hell. What do you mean? Where'd that come from? So you think that they could have taken us without guns? You think that they could have kept us in captivity without, for 400 years, without a boom boom stick? Let me tell you something. Them Europeans would not have taken the natives here without boom boom stick. Do you hear the Moreh? Let alone the house of Israel. Let alone the house of Yehuda. Right now, we prove in every sport we're going to whoop everybody on earth. Right now, we've been proven ever since they let us box Can't nobody whoop us but us. We've already proven that. We have to fight each other. We've already proven we the fastest. We race each other. We already showed in the World Cup that when it comes to soccer, we got to play each other. We already proven in the Olympics. We've already proven it everywhere. You no match for us, you heathens. But you got the boom boom sticks. The Most High allowed that because he knew with your wicked self you would use them. And then he would preserve you, the beast, to himself for destruction, for touching us. Yes. Now that's the truth. It wouldn't have been one day. Woo! I don't know too many Hebrew men. Again, I'm getting older and I don't know nothing about this new generation because some of these young men, I don't know where they come from. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm talking about my age. I don't know too many men that by themselves can't whoop at least 2 heathens at a time. I don't know none. At least 2 or 3. At a time. At one time. And that ain't no bragging point. It's a truth thing. That's why they would always gang up on us. That's why they always came with 2 or 3 or 4 against 1. Because we can get with a heathen with no problem. That Judah gene activate, boy, it's over. So they had to get 3, 4, 5, but not just no mono on mono. No, the slave trade was allowed. Yah allowed it by placing the boom boom stick in the hands of the heathen. But that does not mean that this little horn lasts forever. That's not what it means. Please don't let that think. Please don't think that because you got a boom boom stick and you can use it against us, that you can take them boom boom sticks and use it against him. You can forget that. This beast is coming down. I've been in the room too long, but I have to put the message out. Hit the like button. I want to talk to this heathen and these slumber brews and these campers. Matthew 12:36 is still alive and well today. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account. When? In the day of judgment. Did you hear that, you heathens? Did you hear that, you slumber brews? Did you hear that, you liars? You hear that, camper? Did you hear that, you pigment-eating preacher? Let me read it again so that it'll be echoing in your head throughout all eternity. What our King said. He said, but I say, Matthew 12:36, but I say, who is he? He's the King unto you. Give a damn about no ouchie Fauci. Listen here. All you ouchie Faucis out there, everybody that's listening to me, all you lie, listen. Ain't no pleading the fifth in the judgment. Hit the like button. There will be no pleading fifths in the judgment. You can get away with that kind of wicked foolishness in this freaking beast system. In a system created by the beast. Yeah, you can get away with it. You can leave the room breathing oxygen. But I guarantee you, not with our King. Oh, no. You gonna talk on that day. You gonna confess something on that day. Oh, no, you gonna tell it on that day. When you get asked a question by our king, it won't be no pleading the fifth on that day. Boy, when the secrets of our hearts and minds are disclosed, when the history of your life is displayed up on the backdrop, not of a CD, but on the backdrop of heaven, and your life is replayed in front of the world, right before you are kicked headlong in the judgment, guess what you gonna do? You gonna talk. You're gonna say it. You're gonna confess it before my king. Ain't gonna be pleading the fifth. You hear me, you campers? You hear me, you stumble bruise? You hear me, all you that are out there watching the moral rate? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of y'all. You better hear the moral rate. And he asks you about the Shabbat, ain't no pleading the fifth. When he asks you about creation, and he tells you who he is, and you say, ain't no pleading the fifth. When the Bible talks about who we are and who we are, and you stand in the judgment, ain't no pleading the fifth. When you have rejected the Torah and the Ten Commandments, and then when you stand, because I told you you're going to be judged out of this book. When he stands and says, all right, I'm Yahuwah. Now, who did you say I was? You can't say I plead the fifth. I thought you was Santa Claus, Easter. I thought you was white Jesus. Oh, you're going to confess. But the doctor told you that I was Yahuwah. Why didn't you follow it? I said, don't have no other Elohim before me. Did you have another Elohim before me? It won't be no I plead the fifth. You go, yeah. Oh, you're still going to hell. All them crying tears, you still going. But you're going to answer some questions. Did you have idols? Yeah. Did you make graven images? Did you remember the Shabbat? No. Did you honor your mother and your father? Well, you're going to stand before him, I promise. There will be no pleading the fifth. And when you're going to be challenged about it, and you heard the Moreh preach, he's going to ask you everything. Because the Bible, you're going to be judged out of the book. I have told you this so many times. The judgment is coming from here. It's an open book test. You don't even have to wonder what the questions are going to be. The questions are already here. When he gets to the section on creation, I'm telling you what the answers are. They're in Genesis. When he gets to the answer, when he gets to the questions about Egypt and our deliverance and our feast days, that's in Exodus and that's in Leviticus. When he starts talking about the what we eat and all that kind of stuff, that's in Numbers and Deuteronomy. And then when he starts to question you about the Holy Land and our division, that's in Joshua. And when he questions you about how we're supposed to live, whether we're supposed to follow ourselves or we're supposed to follow Yah, that's in Judges. And whether or not the Gentile can get in, that's in Ruth. And whether or not Yah calls seers and leaders in the house of Israel, that's in 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel. And whether or not King David was set apart and the covenant was renewed, that's going to be an open book test. That's 2 Samuel. And whether or not Solomon built the temple, that's going to be found in the Kings and in 2 Chronicles. And the warning about whether we're supposed to go after other gods or not and how our kingdom got split, that's an open book test too. Jeroboam and Rehoboam. What? It's an open book test. When it comes to who our king is, you want to call him a bastard if you want to. But the Bible said, no, he's without sin. He's not even born in sin. No. He got a body but no sin. Just like the first Adam had a body with no sin. You ignorant teachers out there don't know the Bible. What's wrong with you? That's all right. You're going to confess it. You're going to confess it. Woo! It's an open book test. The judgment will be out of here. And I read it so many times. What you read, Moray? Every knee. That I'm out. That every knee shall bow, and I read in the Bible where every knee in heaven and every knee. No more, right? Yeah, I'll show you. In earth and every knee, the Bible, under the earth. What is that? The folk in the grave. What else? And at every tongue. Oh, y'all thought you were going to get into the kingdom and try to plead the fifth? Ain't going to be pleading no fifth. You're going to confess. It's appointed unto man once to die, after that the judgment, and in the judgment you going to confess it. And the ultimate confession is that Yahushua HaMashiach is the King, to the glory of Elohim, the Father. Yes, he's the visible image of the invisible Yah. He is the right hand of power. He is the saving arm of Yahuwah. Last verse. Revelation, just for today. Last verse, Revelation. Chapter 18. Verse 1. After these things, I saw another angel. What? Yeah, boo. It's another angel. Where'd he come from? He came down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily. That's why I'm trying to cry mightily right now. He cried mightily with a strong voice. What'd he say? Here it is. You see Babylon? You see the lion, the leopard, the bear, and that fourth beast that just is outrageously wicked? And look at the foundation crumbling. Yeah. There it is. Babylon the Great. Remember what I told you. Babylon was a real place. It was the head. All of the other nations are still Babylon, just different names. He said it's falling. What? Yeah, falling. And has become the habitation of devils. Only a devil would do what that dude did and what these people continue to do. And the hold of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird is where? Here. For all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Every nation, I just told you, is connected to the beast. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Everybody is involved with this. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich. This is verse 3. Throughout the abundance of her delicacies. But verse 4 says, and I heard another voice. I gotta go. Toda Rabbah. Y'all been in the room. Hit the like button. Send your tithe and your offering to the work of the ARK. Help this ministry, help this kind of teaching continue to go forward. Can you see the Bible? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, what? Come out of her, my people. These pastors and these campers dragging you deeper into this beast. Ain't that something? And the whole time the Moreh is preaching, get out of the beast. Get away from her. Matter of fact, it says, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. This thing got plagues, and more plagues are coming. You better get out. It's falling. Why? Because her sins. I was only going to be in here like 30 minutes today because I got double duty. It said because her sins. Her what, Moreh? Her sins. Verse 5 says they reached heaven. It's over. I don't care what people say. I don't give a damn what this government and what other people, television, radio, I don't care, internet, it don't matter. None of it matters. What matters is this. And people keep saying, I don't know how he's always right. The reason that I'm always right, other than mistakes, I'm not talking about that. The reason I'm always right about every single thing I talk about is because I see the Bible, and the Bible is right. So all you have to do is line up with the actual Bible. When you line up with the Bible, you're going to be right because the Bible is right. Our problem is we don't know the Bible. This is why Yah sent us here. And I'm not the only one. But I am one of them to show you. He said, well, get out of that thing because her sins already reached heaven. It ain't, and look, this thing is judged already. And Yah has remembered her iniquities, which is what? The thing she's trying to forget. Slavery. Oppression. Genocide. Colonization. Mass murder. Human trafficking. Drug. Lab-created diseases. Wicked teaching. Wicked doctrine. Wicked courts. Wicked legislation. I'm out. He said, you better get out of her. Why? Because everything that this beast has done is getting ready to come double against her. You better believe that. Babylon is falling. The nation is collapsing. The nations, and you can see the collapse when you look at what they were talking about in the Congress and the things I mentioned in this message. And instead of them in great repentance before the Most High Yah, because I keep trying to tell y'all, you better stop trying to pray for this beast. The Bible didn't tell you to pray for the beast. The Bible says get out of that beast. You keep thinking it's going to be a revival in the land. A revival to what? It started in slavery. It started with genocide. It started with ethnic cleansing. So where are you going to take it back to? A revival to what? To that? No. The beast is going down. And I ain't talking about just here. I'm talking about globally. The last kingdom and rulers of the world fall before the return of the Messiah. That's our next thing on the agenda. Hit the like button. I gotta go. One love to the house of Israel on this holy Shabbat, and to all of the companions of the house of Israel. Shalom to you too. Because you can get in. I don't give a dang what these campers told you they'll lie. You can get in, but you got to get in according to the Bible. But there is room. Yes, there's room. There's room. I heard somebody say there's plenty of good room. Where? In my Father's kingdom. Yeah. Yes, it's room. In my Father's kingdom. If I was you, I would enter in right now. Tomorrow's not promised and yesterday gone. Line up with the truth. Support through tithes and offerings. Keep those laws, statutes, and commandments. And I got a whole nother message that I got to do this afternoon. But we got to wait and watch. Two important words for the return of our King. And neither one of those words are passive. Both of those words are active. That means we want to be doing what he's called us to do at the time that he returns to gather us and to take us to be with him. Hallelujah. 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 The collapse of the beast system is happening now. Not by accident, but by our King. So until next time, keep looking up. For our redemption draw nigh. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.